when 76% don't support your policy, yet you claim it's the most popular. Let's have a look at some green thinking. Hello everyone, Florian.Heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee, because I made the mistake of going on Twitter and seeing a post by the leader of the Australian Greens. Let's have a look at this, because maybe you can understand it, the green mathematics. Maybe it's New Age maths. Out of all the party's climate policy, most voters back the Greens. To stop the climate crisis, we urgently need to reduce emissions 75% by 2030, net zero by 2035. How do they think they're actually going to get net zero? You've got to understand the embodied energy in all of these energy production mechanisms, guys. This doesn't make sense to me. Let's have a look here. I'll bring up a website, guys. I don't want to show you just the energy production right now in Australia as I'm recording this. We'll jump over here. Now, if we have a look here, see all these green things. These are all wind farms. They're producing 20%, 23%, 19%, 13%, 13%, 22% of their capacity. Now, their production capacity is never going to be at 100% because it's the wind. And we'll also bring up another website here. We'll have a look. This will show you the wind in Victoria. There you go. We can see, it's not moving that quick. What do we have? 0 to 3 knots there, maybe 11 knots here. Now, if these aren't producing at a high enough efficiency rate throughout the majority of their lifespan, the embodied energy that's used in the manufacturing, construction, transportation, decommissioning, and mining the resources to do all of that will not be offset by the benefit of doing this as opposed to more traditional energy sources, like this coal plant running at 94%, or this one running at 80%. That's the issue here. You're never going to achieve... Net zero is a pipe dream, everyone. It's not going to happen by 2035. It's going to be impossible. Maybe if you rolled out massive nuclear power plants, but then you're going to have years of red tape, years of jumping through hoops, and then years of working off that environmental footprint as well. And it's completely pointless, utterly pointless when you just look at the number of coal plants that are being built in China. We're not going to make any difference. Let's bring up a quote here, just for anyone here. This is from, where is it? Finkel regarding CO2. If the world were to reduce, and sorry, I lost the picture there. If the world were to reduce its carbon emissions by 1.3%, what impact would that make on climate change? And his response would be that the impact would be virtually nothing. The reason 1.3% there is stated is that's Australia's impact on it. Now, I know people will make the argument that, well, we have to be leaders. We have to show the way. We're not leaders. We're a colony on the edge of the world with a very underdeveloped economic complexity, and we are having political leaders like this Muppet advocating for even more cost of living increases for us here in Australia. That's what all of this is going to mean. So let's have a look at this. Climate action is popular, and it's possible. It's just politicians and their coal and gas donors holding us back. No, it's reality. I mean, here's the thing. Is climate action going to be popular when people realize how much it's going to cost in their power? And how many people are advocating for climate action that are too young to even have power bills or to even understand the implications of it? I guess you grow out of this stuff. So let's look at this policy. So 24%, it's apparently the most popular. What's the other one? 43%, Labor's policy of net zero by 2050, with a 43% reduction in targets. 18% want that one. 16% support the coalition policy of net zero by 2050 and a 26 to 28% emissions reduction target for 2030. One Nation policy of withdrawing from international climate agreements and not setting any binding targets. That's 10%. Okay? And do not support any of these, 10%. And all acceptable or unsure is 10%. That's you can't combine those together. That's stupid. So you have... Okay, we have 41% of people do not support any of these policies, are unsure, or want to pull out, with an unknown amount that say they're all acceptable. There you go. So the majority are backing these policies by 2050, which is utter bullshit. That's so far in the future it doesn't make any difference. But notice how they're framing this. That a resolve poll, January 2022, we have to see. I mean, but how they're framing it, that their policy is the most popular. But One Nation and that don't support any. And I'm sure we need to see the breakdown of this. How many say it's unsure? I bet you that's more than the Greens. I bet a carton. What do you reckon, guys? But this is Greens thinking. We need to educate people about embodied energy, about the actual implications of the interventions that they're putting in the market. All of this is artificial. You can see it in Victoria. Yeah, well, actually, I'll get on my soapbox. We saw it in Victoria with the solar panel fiasco, where to win votes, they're offering subsidies on solar panels, which essentially amounts to if you get one of the quota positions at the beginning of the month, you get half-price panels. So what do you think that did to the industry? What do you think? Well, it capped the number of installations that can essentially happen every month to the number of lottery tickets you get. There you go, comrade. We only have an allocation of so many boots you need to make do without. You're going to wait until the next month. The advantage of getting the half-price panels within a month is well worth the risk of putting it off and maybe waiting another month or another month. Think about it. So they've buggered the whole industry because they're intervening. We need to advocate for less government intervention. The Greens are not the solution. They are an extremely interventionist government. Just look at some of the rhetoric coming from their politicians, their senators. They really are a bunch of misogynist racists in many regards from the Greens. Racism of low expectations. Sexism, wanting to discriminate against people. They're not the good guys. Sure, they have some policies that a lot of people like, but if you put them next to their other policies, they don't make any sense. They want affordable housing, yet they want to restrict development. Yeah, you can't have it both ways. But I guess when you're a minor party, although they're growing, your terrible theories aren't quite put to the test. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and check out this video about renewables before food. That's a touchy subject for me, and you've got to put it in perspective. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you all for the next episode of HeiseSays.